We felt like we accomplished quite a bit today and yesterday and the day before, actually, when we were preparing for the last 2 days. We feel like we hit on a number of needs in this year's draft. We accomplished some Big Ten acquisitions there, Coach Ledbetter, and quite honestly, we're excited about what we've added to this team, and we think that they can affect our success going forward. So with that, let's throw it out to questions.
Can you talk about Brady Ewing and actually watching his tape and seeing the 30 touchdown clearing tackles that he had last season?
Yep. You said Brady Ewing?
Yes. The fullback.
Clearing tackles?
Yeah, in his stats they said he had 30 blocks that resulted in touchdowns.
I thought you were saying he had clearing tackles, like he was tackling people.
Oh no, I guess I misspoke and meant blocks.
Oh, okay.
Clearing blocks.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yes. He's
paving the way for 30
there
touchdowns.
You go. Okay, I was confused. Okay, this has been a long day. Long day for both of us. Here's the deal. Brady for us was a guy that we thought could come in here and add an element of, again, leadership. He's another team captain for us. He's a smart football guy who has an understanding and a versatility about him to not only block, get up in the hole, situate himself well. He's smart to read, which is very, very important in this league to have a very smart fullback. We think he has a versatility to get out and catch balls in the flats as well. And he has the ability to nose up and stuff it up in the hole. So again, he's going to come in here and compete at the position, and again, it's going to open up some nice competition along the fullback spot.
And Jonathan there, your next pick, a lot of people know about him and his ability to come off the edge for Troy.
Jonathan Massaquoi was, we were fortunate to have him there at the back end of the 5th round. We were watching him, and we really focused on him over the last couple of years. He had an outstanding junior season, 13+ sacks. This year he came back with only 6 sacks, so his production was down a little bit. That said, we take the entire body of work into consideration. I think he has ability to get up and around the corner. He's got explosiveness about him and athleticism to bend effectively towards the quarterback. He's another guy that's going to be in that mix with that defensive end group. We feel that we have some veterans there, and John Abraham obviously being signed back, but we also have some young guys. We think Jonathan can come in and again, fire up the competition between that group, and again, we'll see what ends up happening in the end as far as who ends up in the roster spots.
Did he play special teams for them at all?
He did as well, and he was a guy that they relied heavily upon as far as his presence there, not only in his junior season, but as his senior season.
And Mitchell's intriguing SEC guy, played a lot of football over there for them. Could you talk a little bit about Charles? He did. Charles Mitchell, for us, was a guy, again, the overriding theme here is that he had versatility, or has versatility, to play both free safety and strong safety. He's a go-get-him type of player who's going to run to the ball and hit people. He was very productive in the SEC consistently. As far as tackling, he has the range to make plays, from sideline to sideline. And again, I think we liked his versatility to align it at free or strong. He didn't amass that many plays on the ball in the sense of interceptions and PBUs, but he still had an effect and understands the defense and will understand the defense. Hopefully, coming in here well. And Travian, your last pick, looked like he had a lot of strong last 2 years over there for Coach Burry. Yeah,
Travian again is another captain out of USC, South Carolina. That USC, yes. And he's the type of guy. He's a stout guy. He's 6'4", 305 pounds. He has the ability to hold the point. He also has deceptive athleticism, and he's fairly light on his feet, and the agility to work through clutter in line, and has the range to make some plays. He's he'll be brought in more so as a stout run-stopping type of guy, and again, we feel like we have some guys there in that position right now in that interior defensive line, but we always like to add to the depth, and again, we were hoping that he was going to be there at the back end of this draft.
Gets a good push and a penetrator for a big guy?
Yes, he has the ability to do that. He's going to have to continue to learn what we're doing here with this system, and but again, we like the fact that he's very, very competitive.
Thomas, looking at the Ewing selection, Ovi obviously does a lot of great things on special teams, coming off an injury and whatnot. Got the cap situation. I'm wondering if that maybe is going to factor in a decision with Ovi with you and joining.
Well, I think our focus right now is to step back after today's acquisitions and the last couple of days and really sit down and look at our entire roster. Obviously, Brady for us is a guy who's going to come in. He's going to compete at the fullback spot. I don't want to comment on financial situations and our cap situation publicly. That's what we discuss, back in our offices. Suffice it to say, we feel like this opens up competition at the position. We have 3 solid fullbacks here that we hope will compete very strongly for the job. And really, we don't have any plans right now to do much of anything else but step back in there and look at our roster and see who's going to fit in where. But I mean, I appreciate the question, but as far as the comments on cap situations, I prefer not to do that. Anyone else?
Good guys?
No, we're just getting warmed up.
Going out.
Yeah. Overall, how do you feel when you put the whole thing together? How did it go? Not having the picks, getting some help along the way. How do you feel it went for a different kind of draft for you guys?
Okay, let me start off by saying I think you all would be proud, as I am. We're returning to a full draft next year, so that's exciting for us. I will say this was interesting working out of 55 versus having a first-round pick. That said, as I've mentioned publicly over the last few weeks, I feel strongly about what we did last year, and I feel strongly about what we've accomplished in this draft. 55 on, we set out to be more physical and stout along the offensive line, and we feel like we're bringing in a couple of very big football players who are competitors, who are tough, and we hope that that's going to help us with that depth. And then we hit other need positions. We felt coming into this draft, we feel good. It was not a flashy draft at all. We expected that. And quite honestly, a draft like this without a first round pick, you're much more inclined to feel comfortable not having a flashy draft, because this just seems to settle into having a blue-collar type of draft without necessarily concerning yourself with the first rounders. Let's just get some solid football players who can fit into roster spots of need.
It looks like the theme might have been power players. You got certainly some linemen and the fullback and the big guy on the back end there, and then a couple of defensive skill guys there. But I think the overriding theme was you were getting some power to throw in the competition at various spots.
Right. Over the last few years, we've really focused on getting our skill positions set. We think that's very, very important. What we refer to as our skill positions, they're all very skilled, obviously, but the positions where we need that explosive athleticism, we feel that we have in place. This was a focus to again, get stronger, more stout at certain positions, add some weight, add some power, and that was very important for us. We feel like we've accomplished that, and again, we feel like we have a foundation here. We had a foundation going into this year's draft, and we just feel like we fortified the different spots along the roster through this draft.
And just for the record, Massaquoi is a DN for you all, correct?
Yes, he's a defensive end. However, he has versatility to drop as well, and given the fact that I'm sure there's going to be some creativity with our defense, I think that that's going to be something that will help Jonathan in his quest to contribute.
All right.
I like it.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Tom.